mentioned, my project is awesome-wav. Now before I get into the presentation, I'd like to show you this video that Joe made of our project. I'm not really sure.
Sorry, Peter. I did make it, but I got the idea from
Peter?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't remember what was used to make it, but you should ask Joe or Peter and try making one of these for your projects.
Yeah, it's Peter's work.
G-O-U-R-C-E.
We've got them for all the projects, actually.
Really?
Yeah, we have all the projects, so the commit log, these are all the commit logs, how many people have committed, and you're doing a great job, so that's why you can show these things. And you're also #1 in the dashboard, so more kudos to you. More awesomeness.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, last week I posted 3 audio clips. They were each clips of rain. And one of them was the original, well not original song, but original clip. One had no data, but it also had scrambled bits in the lower portion of the audio. And another one had data plus scrambled bits. Now if you open this up in a program that visualizes the sound waves and you compare them, you really can't tell the difference between any of them. If you overlay this in like Photoshop or something, you flip between the layers, you can't see any difference between the clips. This is extremely zoomed in on one portion of the audio. Now, as it turns out, there's one really easy way to tell which file is the original. The original file compresses better than any of the others which have scrambled bits. Like in this example, the original compressed 43%, whereas all the others compressed 38%. We hadn't realized this until I actually published the clips, and we're actually not quite sure how to solve this problem.
Yeah, I did notice the size from the.
Yeah. So it's easy to tell the original from the tampered files, but it's really hard to tell which of the tampered files has data versus no data because we used AES encryption. But there's one problem with AES, at least the AES that we were using. With ECB, it's not very random, and that's what we had originally. So over the semester, Tim was working on implementing a different encryption algorithm. So with the scrambled bits, basically what we do is we pad the data in order to hide the length versus the original file. That way you can't be like, oh, the data is within this section, let me try getting it. So we have to figure out a better way to pad the data so that we don't have these compression problems where we can just view the differences. But we're really not quite sure how to solve this problem, and I'm still trying to figure it out. So over the semester, we standardized our code a bunch more, since Tim and I kind of have like different standards. We also had an error logger, more error checking, validation, safe file deletion. So before we delete a file, we make sure that we overwrite it with all zeros, that way it's not retrievable. And we also added some more encoding and decoding support. And a major thing was FLAC support. FLAC support was actually pretty easy to add, since FLAC is just a compressed WAV file. So what we do is we use the source code from like the FLAC project, and we just like take a FLAC file, convert it to WAV, do our thing, and then convert it back to FLAC. And also Tim has been updating the libraries, and he added QuickLZ and AES-CBC. AES-CBC still has some problems that we're trying to work out. For some reason it gives us more data than we should. So do you have any questions? Yes?
Could it be the IV?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, like do you have like an extra 8 bytes or extra 16 bytes?
I forget how many Tim mentioned. I haven't worked on that. Unfortunately, he's not here for some reason. Yes.
So you're talking about the secure deletion. So it seems like the problem is you're writing the files at some point.
Yeah.
Or read it. Is there any way to never write those to disk? I mean, there's swapping and all that aside, but make a reasonable effort.
Without loading everything into memory, which is,
Are these files way too big? I mean, we're talking
well,
a couple meg MP3s or?
no, this is WAV files, so they're uncompressed.
So I don't know, I have no idea, how big is that?
Like a typical WAV file might be 40 megs,
Yeah?
and a FLAC might be 20 megs. We could increase the size of the buffer, so it could load it all into memory,
Yeah.
and we might add that back as an option. Yes.
I guess if you're trying to load it all into memory but fail, you know, if you take, then it's going to go to swap, and then it's in swap. Whereas if you, yes, you do read to disk, but you know like that you can overwrite that. So I guess do something intelligent based on the size of the files or something. You know, if they won't actually fit into memory, then you don't want it going into swap, which isn't securely rooted. So.
So you mentioned that you added FLAC support, which I think is like really exciting, right? FLAC's
Yeah.
a pretty popular format. So you mentioned it's a compressed WAV file, and so what you can do is you can open up a FLAC file into WAV, encode your data, and then re-encode it back into, or recompress it back into FLAC. Can I go the other way? Can I add data over a WAV file, add it to a FLAC, and then pull it back out with awesome-wav?
Yep, it's lossless.
That's awesome.
Yes.
You said you can't see it when you're looking at the unencrypted and encrypted together or no data or not. Can you hear it, a difference between the files?
It is posted in the blog.
Yeah, the
It is
clips
posted
are in the
in
blog.
and you can download is slow, but you can post. It is posted in the blog.
Not really sure where I saved the clips.
Tim, that's okay.
Oh, here we go.
They would be able to hear it, right?
Oh. Well, yeah, this is just a clip of rain. I used it because it's like not copyrighted or anything. That's the original clip. I'll be posting the results on the blog. This is encoded with some data. And this is encoded with no data. So yeah, you can play with these clips if you want to take a look at them. They're all posted on the blog.
Leave that laptop.
Alright. I think my battery's about to die though.
Okay. So next we have Anthony